Well, hello and welcome back to a very special edition of Back 10. I'm your host, Kyle Amor, and we are here at Old Trafford. I'm joined by Matt Shaw, and we will dissect what we've just witnessed, which, of course, is Hull KR, the new champions of Super League, and that title, confirms their treble winning season. Only the fifth club to become the treble winners, Hull KR, well done to them. But before we get into the show, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our action that goes out here at All Out Rugby League. Don't forget also in the comments, if you're watching on a mobile phone or a tablet, to swipe left. That will reveal that hype button. Hit that hype button. You get to do that 3 times per week. And of course, that will help us reach much, much wider audiences so we can continue to bring you quality rugby league chat, discussion, debate, everything that goes with it, Matt. Isn't that right?
Indeed. So yeah, do whatever he just said, because I can't repeat it. He don't know how he gets it out every week.
For now, let's get into the show. Well, wow, Matt. Wow. What a season it has been for Hull KR. I mentioned earlier, only the 5th team to nail on that famous treble, and they had to do it in a very, very unusual way tonight. For many people, that opening 20 minutes, it could have been all Wigan.
It could have been game over after 20 minutes, but with Wigan having their hands on the trophy. You know, Hull KR were pretty poor in that first 20 minutes, certainly the first 15. I think James Batchelor dropped the ball, Tom Davis dropped the ball. There was
Joe Burgess
dropped the ball. They were a mess, really. And Wigan, let's be fair, bombed 2 chances. Liam Farrell has to score. He has to score that try. It's a simple catch and ground. Mm-hmm. Even Bevan French, a little bit trickier, but you just expect Bevan French to score a try like that.
You do. But there was when you watch it back, or if you get to watch it back, Mikey Lewis's effort to get across there and do enough to make Bevan French drop that ball. If Mikey Lewis doesn't do that, of course, Mikey Lewis went on to deservedly win the Rob Burrow Award. Yeah. Special plays like that. It reminded me a little bit, I was sat there watching down pitch side, and when Wigan bombed them 2 chances, it reminded me of when we played Warrington at St Helens in the Challenge Cup final. Morgan Knowles doesn't get that try that should have been a try, and then from then on in, it just made Warrington to believe that they could go on and win it. I felt it was very similar. I thought if I was a Hull KR player, I would be thinking, someone's looking down on us here. 2 tries that should have and could have easily been tries, not to be. And then in the blink of an eye, they go up the other end of the field, and Mikey Lewis does Mikey Lewis stuff.
For sure. If you were them 40 minutes in and you you should be 12-0 down, which the KR players will have known that. Yeah. They should have been 12-0 down. And then Brad O'Neill gets sin-binned. And you're probably at that point thinking, we're on here. Yeah. We're on here. And then Mikey does his thing.
Well, just on that sin bin. Yellow card?
I thought it was a sin bin.
Yellow card?
Yeah.
I agree.
It was a weird debate. There was a lot of talk about it being a red. I didn't think it was anything like a red card. It was never a red card for me.
He doesn't like... He lands enough on his back, doesn't he?
Correct.
His neck. Yeah, but I thought, interestingly, a couple of sets earlier, Warea-Hargreaves, that could have easily been a yellow. Yeah. That was the one I thought. And I'm glad
the shoulder charge on Bevan. If he hits him in the head,
No, there was one before that.
Oh, I know which one you mean. It was on Miski.
Correct.
Miski, yeah.
But, I mean, look, I'm all for all our players staying on the big stage. Yeah. And I thought, by the way, Warea-Hargreaves, that was probably his best performance in a Hull KR shirt.
It was a funny
brilliant.
Funny performance because he gave 2 penalties away and a 6 again. However, there was so much good in there as well.
Yeah.
I agree. It was probably his best performance in Hull KR.
And the reason I say that, Matt, is because, again, at pitch side, what Hull KR did unbelievably well was pin them in the corner, getting off their line speed, their contact, led by Warea-Hargreaves. But it wasn't just the contact, it was the ferocity in the contact. Yeah. It rattled Wigan, didn't it, in the first 40, and it was their turn then to have a load of errors.
Well, they lost the plot, really, didn't they? After they conceded the first try, they went error. Luke Thompson gets caught on the 5th tackle with a scoot.
Yeah.
And then KR go to pin him in. Liam Marshall drops the ball, play 1. And then they score. It was a capitulation from Wigan that we've not really seen. You think resilience and all that stuff. That wasn't. It was very un-Wigan-like, and Hull KR ruthlessly made him pay with a great try, by the way. I thought Mikey Lewis again did really well, just waiting to delay that pass and creating the space, and good finish from Burgess.
Yeah, Adam Kieran then gets us at 10 points to 2. That penalty following the charge down the accidental offside, if you want to call it that. What were you thinking at 10-2, Matt? Were you comfortable if you were a Hull KR fan, or what was your thought process?
I think you'd still be happy at 10-2. Wigan is 2 points on the board. It's something to work off. At that point, I thought the next try, it was the classic next try crucial. And in the end, it proved absolutely not to be, because it went to Wigan.
It did. Harry Smith
Great
got.
Try.
Oh, it was a brilliant try. I was worried for Hull KR then. I was worried that I thought, are they mentally resilient enough? I'll tell you what I will say, by the way. I'm still sort of finding myself during that game questioning Hull KR. I don't think after this season, I am not going to question them now. They are the real deal. Look, they've just won a treble. You know, there's been so much heat put on them. Mikey Lewis heading into this game, people were saying, you know, he goes missing in a big game. Can he perform in a bit? Well, he owned the stage tonight.
Absolutely.
There was 3 stars out there. The VIP guest list was sent out. Field, French and Mikey Lewis. Mikey Lewis, he didn't just come to the party, man. He booted that door right in.
And it wasn't just it was stuff in the second half. He made a little break, but then had the sense of he had the maturity just to go for the ball. There were loads of little things he did really well. He defended really well. The thing on Wigan, I think what they'll be really disappointed with, like you, I think everyone's going, when Harry Smith scores that try, okay, this is going to be a test of their mental resolve. Wigan drop the ball, play free, give a penalty away with ball steal clear as day, KR settle with 2 points. Wigan never scrutinised that potential mental fragility or inexperience or whatever you want to call it. Wigan never pushed the buttons on that. No, and they'll live to regret that.
But they couldn't do that either, Matt, because for their standards, the second half, just far too many errors.
Oh, yeah. They were poor, but you've got to give credit to Hull KR, because a lot of that were them. You know, late in the game and they're winning by 12, they're throwing the ball around with 10 minutes to go. Well, you expect the errors? Mm-hmm. You expect those errors at that point. But before that, Hull KR were just tough and strong and really, really good. Yeah,
really pleased for Willie Peters. You know, I was thinking back for his journey at Hull KR. They got walloped by Wigan a few seasons ago in the playoffs. They then lose the Challenge Cup final. Then they lose the Grand Final. Well, now, you know, all that scarring, all that mental sort of grit, grind, determination that he's had to keep putting into his players. You know, he's managed to win all 3. And I just think, you know, what a coach. And a special mention for Neil Hudgell as well. You know, 2017, Hull KR were relegated. I think it was 2017. You know, I would have liked to put a bet on with him if he thought, you know, less than a decade later, he'd have been lifting that trophy there. And you know, from ball boy Neil Hudgell to now owner, Super League champion. Brilliant.
Well, you know, you talk about the questions. You can go back to middle of last year when people were saying, can they win outside of Yorkshire? Because they weren't winning away games outside of Yorkshire. That was a question. Then it was a question of, can they win the big games? And then it was, can they win a trophy? Then it was, can they win at Catalan away? Can they beat Wigan? And then it was, do they have are they too fatigued? There were all these questions. What we've come to learn is every question that's been put on Hull KR, every doubt, they have eventually, not straight away always, but they have eventually answered it. And like tonight, they've answered that emphatically. 24-6 is a big margin for a grand final. Big margin.
Well, Matt, I'm going to ask another question, because that's my job, right?
Of course it is. We have to find something else.
We have to find something else. So do not hate on us, Hull KR. We are just, you know, we're just creating the story. What I'm going to say is, right, okay, let's enjoy tonight. Enjoy tonight by all means. But I've no doubt that Willie Peters and his coaching staff, over the next sort of, remember, we get 72 hours out of the way, they will look to be, you know, are they able to do it again? Are they able to do what, you know, clubs have done in the past? And winning a treble is so hard to do. There's only been 5 teams to do it. It's so hard to do. I played obviously in a great side at St Helens, and we weren't able to do that. But what we were able to do is win again and again and again. Now, that's the challenge I'm asking. Can Hull KR? We've spoken, you know, a couple of weeks ago about them potentially heading into a dynasty. Can this KR side become a dynasty in Super League?
Good question. My initial answer is no, and there's a reason for it. It's an ageing squad. I felt this was them at their prime this year, and then the salary cap pressures are going to come in. the thing that Hull KR don't have, and they fully admit this themselves, the youth that Wigan and Saints always have coming through. Hull KR don't have that. And you need that, I think, for longevity at the top. Hull KR don't have that right now. They're really trying, but I think that won't come through for many years. You're already looking at next year, they're losing Mickey McAlorum.
Yeah, he was good tonight.
No direct replacement for him. So, and then next year, the salary cap's going to squeeze again and players are going to get bigger offers elsewhere and it's going to become harder and harder. So, to counter that, they are excellent in the recruitment market. They're really aggressive, they're proactive, they move players on, they trade a lot. So if they can keep doing that, they may have a chance of sustaining that. But it's a different model to what we've seen work in Super League in the past. So that is a question that you can fairly put to them. We've not seen this work before. Can this Hull KR model work? It's worked to get success. Can it be sustained to success? I have my doubts. I do have my doubts, but we'll see.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right. They are losing some, Jared Warea-Hargreaves, Michael McAlorum. They are losing some players, and they're going to need to replace them. I mean,
Tom Amon's coming in as a Jared Warea-Hargreaves replacement. Is he a direct out? Positionally, yes. Character, no.
But it's what, Willie Peters mentioned at the very end there, it's what those two blokes do in and around the ground. No disrespect to Tom Amon, he doesn't have the same status in the game.
Doesn't have the aura, does he?
He doesn't have the aura, and it's that rubs off on people. So
the thing is now though, Kyle, the argument can be, now that they've won one, do some of those lads who needed to look up to Mickey and Jared, did they take that mantle now? Because they've been there, done it, they've won a treble.
But let me tell you something, as a player who's had to be a part of a squad to go again, it gets harder and harder because everybody's now wanting to knock Hull KR off. Yep. If they didn't like the way Hull KR play, they certainly aren't going to. They're going to find different narratives and different stories to try and make sure that they turn Hull KR over many times as they can next year. And it's up to them and that group to still be hungry. I saw tonight a lot of these players at Hull KR. It meant so much to them. As you could see, as the final 5-10 minutes, anytime there was an error, it was Elliot Minchella. They were almost in tears with still time on the clock. They've done it now, and they're going to have to find another reason to go again. That's not easy to do, that, man.
No, it's not. I've nothing to add to that, Cal. You're just absolutely right. Fascinating to see how they go, and fascinating to see how Wigan go, because when all said and done, they've not won a trophy this year, which for Wigan, it's just not acceptable, is it?
No, it's not. You're right. And the debate runs on, I suppose, really, if you take Field and French out of that side, which I think, by the way, OKR did do that tonight. There was a moment or two from Bevan.
Jay did really well
on the try, of course. But predominantly kept them quiet, and if they do that, that's what happens.
I've always felt Wigan are the best team in the comp because they have Field and French, and I don't think they're particularly any better at the grind or the tough stuff. They're good at it, but only as good as others. They have that X factor and that brilliance that the others don't. If you can contain it as well as Hull KR did tonight, you've got a chance.
Well, look, it's so exciting if you're a Robins fan as well. We're just going to sort of look ahead to next season, the trip to Vegas. As treble winners out in Las Vegas, that's got to be exciting for them, isn't it?
And don't forget, the week before that, they'll play in the World Club Challenge.
There you go.
So they should, as far as I'm aware, because of how it's worked, Brisbane will come to the UK and play Hull KR.
Jeez, that's a difficult.
If Wigan had won, I think Wigan would go to Australia and play the game.
Wow.
But it'll be Brisbane. So they'll play on the Saturday. They'll play the World Club Challenge on the Saturday. Fly to Vegas on the Sunday. Play. That's some schedule.
Goodness me. And we'll look forward to bringing you all of the chat in and around that next season, of course. But for now, that is season 2025 done. I'll say it again. The Robins are not only the champions, they are the treble winners. They have the League Leaders' Shield, the Challenge Cup, and of course, the Super League Grand Final trophy in their trophy cabinet. But Rugby League is over in terms of Super League, but there's plenty more to look forward to this autumn, and that, of course, is the Ashes. And make sure, guys, if you've not got your ticket for Wembley, that you do so, because the Ashes are back. England are taking on Australia, and it doesn't get any bigger than this. It's the toughest rivalry in our sport, and it is back where it belongs. Everton's already sold out, as too has Headingley. So don't forget, your only chance to see England against Australia in the Ashes is on Saturday, the 25th of October. Ashes Rugby League live at Wembley. You do not want to miss this. Adult tickets start from £20. So go and search Rugby League Ashes, or if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description to get your tickets now. Booking fees do apply. Well, Matt, what a special week we have ahead. I'll let you tell all about it in a minute. I won't be here for the next 2 episodes. I'm heading out to China to take part in a Great Wall of China trek for the next 10 days for the Steve Prescott Foundation and the Rugby League Benevolent Fund. So, Matt, you will be in the hot seat. And what a guest you have next week. Tell everyone about it. Make sure you tune in.
Yeah, Sean Wayne. Sean Wayne is coming on hours after naming his England squad. So we will be getting into him about his selections, why he's picked players, why he hasn't picked players. I know you'd rather be at for that, wouldn't you, than on the Great Wall of China, to be honest. But I'll let you off because it's a very worthy cause. Well, incredibly worthy cause.
Yeah, no, there's going to be some difficult challenges in that. So your voice might just be in the back of my head when the going gets tough. But look, talking about the Ashes, anyone stand up tonight in here?
Mikey Lewis.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the question has been, can he deliver in a big game? And let's be right, he hasn't more often than not. He did tonight. So does that force him into the team? Because, to be fair, I thought Harry Smith, I know he threw the intercept at the end. I thought Harry Smith played okay. I thought he kicked well early on in the game. Fascinating, that one.
That is probably it's going to be the hottest topic, heading into the Ashes, isn't it? Who, of course, is going to, everybody's almost saying it has to be who's going to partner George Williams. Is there an argument that George Williams, I think he plays, of course.
I think he plays.
But who will partner him? That remains to be seen. Brad O'Neill. He's going to be in the squad, I assume.
I don't think he will.
You don't think he'll be? No?
I think it will be Daz Clark and Jez Litton. Happy to be proven wrong.
Well, Jez was good again tonight, wasn't he?
Jez was good tonight.
I've really liked what Jez Litton has done this season. But, look, Brad O'Neill's name may be in and around that. His sin bin was a costly one, 10 points in that, wasn't
I didn't think he had his best game tonight, just generally. I'm a huge Brad O'Neill fan, but I didn't think he had his best game tonight. I thought Jez outshone him.
Joe Burgess, could he fill that spot left by Matty Ashton?
I think he's got a chance. In fact, I'd go as
Scores in big games.
I'd go as far as saying he will be in the squad.
Well,
we'll find out on Monday.
Matt's sit down with Sean Wayne promises to be an absolute humdinger. So make sure that you tune into that one. And don't forget, as always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and hype us up in the comments if you are watching on a mobile phone or a tablet. Matt, look, so much to look forward to. We, of course, are going to be delivering you this podcast for the next coming weeks over the duration of the Ashes. So do make sure that you tune in. Rugby League may be over in terms of the Betfred Super League, but it certainly isn't over here at All Out Rugby League. Matt, can England win the Ashes? We had Kai Pearce-Paul as a studio guest here tonight. He's gone for a 2-1.
Well, given that Sean Wayne is the England head coach and he's our guest on Monday and may listen to this, I'm going to say yes, they're going to whitewash him. Because I think if he even said that they've won 2-1, Sean Wayne would be offended. No, they can win it.
Yeah.
Will they? Bigger question, not sure. I think they have to win the first test. I think they have to win at Wembley to win it. And I think if they do, they've got every chance.
So Matt Shaw saying they must win at Wembley. Remember, there are still tickets available. Head over to the Rugby League Ashes webpage to get your tickets. Only £20, and it'll be the only chance that you can see, of course, England taking on Australia Saturday, the 25th of October. Thank you very much for tuning in to this this special edition here at Old Trafford for the Super League Grand Final, where, of course, we've just witnessed Hull KR becoming the Super League champions and, of course, cementing that famous treble. Thank you to everyone for watching, and goodbye for now.